Hello all, welcome to Paritranaya. We often have a confusion over the difference between the legislature and the executive. So in today's video, we shall see the difference between the legislature and executive. So legislature is a law-making body and executive is a implementing body. Legislature makes law, executive implements the law. So here in the Indian context, who is legislature or who all comprise as part of the legislature and who is called as executive? So first we shall discuss at the central level, and the same will extend to state as well. So when it comes to center, we know that we have Lok Sabha, and we have Rajya Sabha. So Lok Sabha has 545 members, Rajya Sabha has 245 members. Okay. So Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha, together we call it as legislature. Okay, together we call it as legislature. So whenever we want to make any law, so that law has to be passed by Lok Sabha, it has to be passed by Rajya Sabha, then finally president will receive his, president will make the signature. Okay, then itself a law will come into force. So these 545 plus 245, so totally 790 members. Okay, so they are called as legislators at the central level. Legislators at the central level. So generally at the central level, we'll not call them as legislators or legislation. What we'll call? We call them as parliament. Okay, we call them as parliament. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha plus president. So these three entities together, they will make laws. Okay, laws. So we call them as parliament. So what is parliament? Parliament is a law-making body at the center. So parliament consists of Lok Sabha, parliament consists of Rajya Sabha and president. Okay, so they are involved in making laws. Then who is executive? Now initially, don't get confused about the IAS officer, whether he is part of the executive or not. Yes, they are part of the executive, but executives again, they are divided into permanent executive and non-permanent executives. So now we will focus on non-permanent executives. So whenever in the Lakshmikant a term appears executive, then you should only interpret executive as we are going to discuss now. Okay. So when I say executive, it consists of Council of Ministers. So they are called as executive. So these Council of Ministers, they are headed by Prime Minister. Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. So this is called as executive. Lok Sabha plus Rajya Sabha plus president, together we call it as parliament. So this is legislative at the central level. Okay. So here our parliament or legislature at the center, it consists of 790 members. So how many members does the executive consist of? So executive consists of hardly somewhere around 60 members. Okay, 60 members. So these 60 members includes all the ministers plus prime minister. Okay, plus prime minister. Similarly, at the state level, we have legislative assemblies. Okay, legislative assemblies and legislative councils. But not every state has the legislative council. Only few of the states have legislative council. So we shall focus only on the legislative assembly. So at the state level, legislative assembly itself is legislature. Okay, legislature. For example, if I take Karnataka as an example, so Karnataka has 224 members of legislative assembly. So 224 MLAs. And at the state level, who will be the executive? Council of Ministers headed by Chief Minister. So they will be the executive at the state level. So today through this video what we got to know, that lawmaking body is called as legislature and implementing body is called as executive. At the central level, the lawmaking body is parliament. At the central level, the executive is Union Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister. At the state level, the lawmaking body is Legislative Assembly. And at the state level, the executive body is Council of Ministers headed by Chief Minister. In the subsequent videos, we'll be discussing about much more topics of polity. For all the updates, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.